Hello, my name is Brad Thomas, and I'm presenting a research project that is titled Faith Integration, What is the Point? This research will look at the topic of faith integration in a business curriculum. The application of faith integration in higher ed has been debated for at least 30 years. Many authors have written about how to integrate faith, why to integrate faith, and even what can be integrated. Some have even argued that abstract concepts of faith cannot be integrated or taught, and that thinking should be replaced by action. All of these discussions are valuable. However, it is possible to study this thing called faith integration and miss seeing the forest for the trees. Are students receiving points for understanding faith issues, and what incentives are offered to reward their efforts to apply biblical principles in their chosen areas of study? Specifically, faith integration can lose its impact if no grades or point values are assigned of the faith and learning objectives. Research to show the effectiveness of faith integration is needed regardless of the actual teachings or individual activities that are selected. This is the focus of this research that was started in a DBA course taught by Dr. Delaney at the Anderson University. Tuning, Novak, Doozer, and others have written about the importance of faith integration. I will defer to the experts on most of these issues. Some examples of faith integration activities are service projects, prayer, devotions, lecture, case studies, and exams or quizzes. The Anderson University philosophy that the business professor should model salt and light to students inside and outside the classroom makes perfect sense. The professor should be a model and a mentor to students as he or she exhibits the fruit of the Spirit, as mentioned in Galatians 5. And I agree with Armstrong and Weiss in their 1992 paper where they made these points very eloquently. As I mentioned earlier, basically Vanderveen asserts that possibly integration cannot even be taught in his 1997 paper. The concepts are too abstract and maybe do not reflect the actual experiences in his opinion. He believes that thinking should be replaced by action. So Tuning and others respond to the rebuttal, and the discussion can be seen as a healthy debate among Christian scholars. The meeting in the middle of abstract ideas and action can be summarized in James 2:17 with the notion that faith without works is dead. Both authors have valid points and could be combined to strengthen faith integration as a learning endeavor. Perhaps the theory and the action can be used to complement each other. However, very little has been written about the assessment of faith integration projects and how to weight them in course grading. That is where my research begins, and the hypothesis is simple. It's before you here. Students will have a deeper understanding of faith integration if those activities receive points toward their final grade. Without being oversimplistic, I conducted a basic experiment using two sections of a course. One was a control group, the other one was given actual points for faith integration. The faith integration questions and assignments were worth approximately 10% of their grade, and this amount would be appropriate if we use the biblical tithing concept of 1/10 of everything to God in Deuteronomy 14:22. The concept of tithing, at least 10%, is kind of another research topic that I'm also interested in. So here we go. Here are some, not all, but some questions that could be used as sample faith integration questions. Number one, please explain how a Christian worldview would impact your handling of a coworker who asks your opinion about using the company's office equipment to start his new home business. Sample question number two, name at least 3 types of modern technology that could be used to help spread the good news of the gospel. Question number 3, do you think that downloading music from the internet that violates copyright laws is the same as stealing a CD from Walmart? Explain the differences and give your answer from a biblical worldview. In my research, the expected results of this research basically deals with using an end-of-course survey. Faith integration questions can produce significant differences between the two sections in multiple responses. That's what I would expect. Independent samples tests or t-tests for qualitative means can be performed, and a correlation between measures will be used to show if there's any correlation between these two groups, the control group who didn't receive points and the group that did. Interestingly enough, with the research here, I used the one section of my Business 303, which was a Management Information Systems course, and that particular section, faith integration grades were given. Approximately 10% of the total final grade was devoted to faith integration. The second group, or section 2, the control group, did not receive any points for faith integration. However, they did receive the same kind of faith topics. They were discussed in class. They just didn't get the points for those activities. So more or less, lip service was given to faith integration, or some demonstrations and examples, but no real points. The only question that reached a significant level of 0.05 was question 23. These in front of you here are the initial results using SPSS to look at the survey results and to crunch the data here. After I used some statistical research, I found out that only question 23 on the survey, and there were 7 questions that specifically related to faith integration, this was the only one that showed any kind of significance. So the question reads as follows: this course or instructor helped me to make connections to the broader mission of the kingdom of God. And it was on a 4-point Likert scale. Strongly disagree was 1, disagree was 2, agree 3, and strongly agree 4. So we looked at the means between the two groups, and we looked at the standard deviations. We did a test, and basically what it showed here is Cohen's D was looked at and came up with a 0.656 effect size, which equates to a medium strength of association. So I'm fairly confident that this particular question did show a difference between these two groups. However, the other faith integration questions did not, which was somewhat surprising to me. I anticipated more questions to show a significant difference between the two groups. There are some limitations of this research, and I'll be the first to point those out. The weak end of course survey questions is one of them. This instrument is a standard survey. It's used by all business courses, and I think that changes are needed to improve the type of data that we're going to collect regarding faith integration. So the first thing I would do is I would improve the end of course survey. Second of all, an idea that I have is to use online and traditional classroom delivery. Online delivery especially could standardize the faith integration content, and then you could maybe better or more effectively isolate what the faith integration impact would be using questions and the like. Issues for further studies, for future studies: better survey definitely to collect the responses, a larger data pool, more courses, professors, colleges, and students participating, and I welcome that. Also, improved assignments, questions, and activity that would be included in offering points for faith integration. And then also this other idea that I floated here in this research would be the possible study of this tithing concept regarding giving 10% of a course to faith integration and weighting it that way. And one recommendation that I have, and one that I'm going to pursue, is actual co-authoring with a member of the theology department that could look at the entire biblical concept of tithing and then see if we can make some kind of jump to what we do in our classes. So I thank you for your time and attention of this study. And if you have further questions, or would you like to reach me about more details of this research, please contact me directly. Thank you.